about you, but I never really had a problem in school. I was one of those like natural smarts that like always got the grades, but didn't really have to try for them, which I guess explains the laziness. Now, I'm a freshman in college. I get to look back on the times that I spent, you know, grade school, middle school, high school to where I am now. And I realized that, like, you know, they got some stuff backwards. The main thing I realized is that, like, the optimism kind of shrinks as you get older. You know, in, like, elementary school, and then they'd be like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And then you would be like, I want to be a doctor. I want to be an astronaut, a police officer. I want to be, like, the #1 athlete in the world. And then they would, like, feed it to you. Like, yeah, reach for the stars. Do whatever you want. I believe in you. And then as you got into, like, middle school, they would kind of, like, dampen it a little bit, but still give you a little bit of hope. Reach for the stars. Maybe not be an astronaut, though. Here's some of the Apollo videos. Watch a bunch of, like, space crashes and stuff. True story, by the way. That was an interesting class. And then in, like, high school, they start pointing out the bums. They're like, maybe you lost cause. That's when, like, the real division started. Like, you'd never see some of, like, the hotheads that you see in middle school and elementary school. They were in their own section of the school. In my class, they would put them at, like, the end of the hallway, cut off from the rest of society. I kind of felt bad for them because they were good people. They just academically weren't there, maybe had, like, a suspension here or there. And they just threw them in a classroom with, like, 8 other kids and, like, the worst teacher ever. You're their problem now. Was it messed up? Yes. But that's kind of how it worked. And for, like, people, like, that are not, like, the bad kids, but they're not overly smart, when was the last time you heard someone say, hey, you should be an astronaut in high school? Then they start getting realistic, like, maybe you should work the 9 to 5, give you, like, an application for like a credit union or, like, a bank. You start flipping patties at your nearest Burger King, and you realize, hey, I can't really up it from here. See, like, the 45-year-old ShopRite manager, employment sticker on her, saying, like, you're 45 years strong, congratulations, Deborah. No one wants to be Deborah. Deborah was like me at one time. Deborah thought that she could be, like, an actress. Or like a fashion model. No one told her in, like, elementary school or middle school that she had an off chance of working at, like, a ShopRite for the rest of her life. Is it her fault? Probably. But it's also a matter of the school didn't really tell her the truth. How they should show it, like, I feel like scare tactic would work better. Hey, you can be whatever you want. But, I mean, if you don't work hard enough, here, you can also be like this. Show a bunch of, like, crack addicts, bunch of people living in a sewer, you know, snorting crack off each other. And that's just, like, scratching the surface of, like, what can be changed in the school system. The school system is really outdated. Did we instantly become born and then, like, you saw Tesla out there creating the car? No! It started with horses. Then it began with, like, carriages. Then it began, like, you know, like the upper cars and then the manufacturing to get where we are now into, like, you know, self-automated vehicles. School in, like, 1915 was exactly the way that we are now. Except then the teachers can, like, beat the kids. But it's, like, always been the same thing. You know, the teacher teaches, everyone sits in a single file row, they have to shut up, they have to raise their hand when they want to go to the bathroom and doing all that other type of stuff. You know who else does that? Factory workers. The original school system layout was made so the children can become factory workers. That would have been great in 1885. It is 2020. Ain't no one waking up one morning and being like, I can't wait to work at the factory. Now they'll, like, try to make it seem like they've evolved by putting more, like, cooperative groups together, group projects and stuff like that. First off, don't even get me started with group projects. I mean, I can't stand, like, the one guy just sits there picking his nose for, like, 2 weeks and doesn't work on anything. I'm out here carrying the ship. I'm already lazy. I don't want to pick up your load, too. But it doesn't really, like, make that much of a difference, you know? It's still, like, the same factory layout. Instead of becoming a factory worker, you become, like, group auto repairmen. I have a couple common stigmas. In math, we should learn how to, like, you know, do our taxes. I don't really care what X is, you know? I've worked for a little bit. I've done retail, you know? I've done like, a bank job. Like, I've been around the block. Ain't never one time a customer went up to me and was like, hey, what's Y? I know what it's used for. I know engineers need that stuff. I know if you want to be like a math teacher, and I know it has its uses. But does everybody want to be an engineer/math teacher? I think, you know, maybe you should learn how to add, subtract, multiply, divide. And then, like, once you get the basics, you can, like, divulge. Maybe I want to go into finance. My math class should be a finance class. You know, I feel like that'd be way useful than, like, finding the derivative of, like, a common number. This has pretty much just gone into a rant. But, like, I feel like a lot of people think the same way. I don't know how you can, like, stare at this and be like, yeah, that's kind of like real life. I get the idea. Maybe the desk kind of looks like an office. So you're sitting there in your cubicle, wishing you, like, tried a little bit harder in school, working your 9 to 5, clocking in and out. That's my version of failing. I do not want to work a standard 9 to 5 job. I want to be creative, you know? That's kind of like my shtick. But at the end of the day, that's kind of how it is right now. You gotta work hard, you know, you gotta like try in school. I did it. I didn't really like it, but you know, I got some pretty good marks. Not to brag or anything, but I mean, you know, I did pretty good. Now I'm in college and I'm keeping that same energy. Procrastinating to the end, lazy, but then getting the job done. And that's all that matters. Because remember, it's not about the destination to the grade. It's about getting the grade. Like a big assignment's like running. You get halfway through like a 5-mile run and you question everything you've done to go up to that point. You're like, why did I do this? I'm okay with being fat. And then you get to like that 4.5, like the last like mile stretch. You know, you're like, screw it. I'll deal with the pain. I am the pain now. And you just get through it. That's pretty much school, you know? You just gotta trudge your feet, get through it. You complain at home. But when you get to school, it's go time. Or you could be like me and just be like, hey, you know, like, it'll be like a side thing and I'll become a streamer. And you know what I mean? It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I do enjoy it a little bit. Hopefully I can make this thing work, you know what I'm saying? And if not, you know, I'll work the 9 to 5. Oh.